welcome to this episode of Aquadac. We are here with Corellia, Rosemary Digital, and Dan Singjoy of the Optimistics, as well as other organizations such as the Eden Fractal. So we're here today in the third season of Aquadac, and in this season, we're focusing on synergy. And as part of our mission to continually experiment and push things forward, we have decided to do a mastermind format. So we're basically creating a synergy of the mind by sharing our own ideas, what we've heard of works, things that are working for us, in relation to specific topics that we believe can benefit everybody in this group. So we're joined here by Rosemary, who is a digital marketer. So I'm sure will have a lot of really valuable insights to share. She also has done a lot of these things for Aquarius Academy, interning for us. She did an amazing job and helped us to learn things about like setting up customer avatars and all kinds of good things. I have done a lot of the marketing for my projects. Corellia as well is getting her Gumroad as well as her Skillshare offerings better marketed. And Dan, of course, is the leader of a lot of projects. So we should have a ton of great ideas bouncing around. I've shared in the chat, and I will share in the chat again for anybody who came after I sent the message. These are just some ideas. So I don't know if people have things prepared, but if you run out of ideas, you can just take a look at this list and then share what's working for you. So without further ado, is there somebody who would like to volunteer to go first? No volunteers. Okay, so I can go first, or I can pick somebody, up to you.
I think you can go first.
Okay, cool. All right, so the first thing I want to share, and I will have like a link that I'll share in the group later. I'll share in the YouTube description for this video, and that is for the like a TikTok Shorts formula. And I think it's really important as we move into this new age of short form content creation that we at least put a little bit of our energy into it. And that's something I've been sort of trying to force myself to do, albeit mostly unsuccessfully, but really to get good at creating a story in 33 seconds, right? And that's a really difficult skill to nail. So this YouTuber, who I should remember her name, she's basically does a lot of these TikToks and their short stories, which are engaging. For example, she had one about, I want to buy my mother a gift, but I only have $5. And then she goes and she collects this basket with $5 with all this stuff, and one's a picture frame with the picture. She gives it to her mom, and the picture frame like falls out and breaks as she gives it to her mom. So that illustrates the basic formula. And the formula is number one, to hook. So you have to have something that immediately involves the audience, catches their attention. So in the example, it's like, my mom has never had a birthday gift. I don't know if that's true, but it's like, it's like, oh, you're immediately personally attached. Then the hook is like some sort of challenge, something that gets people excited. So that's like, she only has $5 to get it, so, oh, well, how is she gonna get this with $5? So the next thing, or also in line with the hook, is the foreshadowing. So you're already foreshadowing the end that, okay, you're going to be satisfied in this story because at the end it is resolved and this person gets the gift. So in order to get to the end, it's about having buts and so's. So these are like challenges and resolutions to those challenges. So, but I only have $5, so I go here. And then there's a series of these, like, but I wanted to get this, I don't have the money, so I got this other thing, blah, blah, blah. So this is working the story to get people more involved. And then finally, you have the resolution of the video and then some sort of like a twist, which in the example is like the picture fell out and the frame broke. And that's like the twist. You're like, so it leaves you also with like this sort of unexpected emotion that isn't just, whatever you were foreshadowed being fulfilled. So I will share that link, but it's something that I think can really help us, not just for creating YouTube shorts, but for telling our story. And one thing that Gumroad has taught me, especially with marketing or with crafting that marketing story, is say it in less words. When I first created my product, which I've had most success with on Gumroad, I wrote like a really big, long sort of sales page for it. But then the more I looked around Gumroad, I found that the more simple sales pages work. And that's what most people were doing. So I've taken the time to try to say the same thing in the least amount of words and just give people like clear steps to take. So that's kind of what I wanted to share as the meat of my thing, but I'm just gonna like go through some of these ideas and then add a few little things, and then I probably will be over my time. So one thing, okay, identifying your target audience, creating and engaging relevant content, and like basically where to go. So I think it's really important in the first stages of the journey to figure out where your audience is and try to engage with them. Nowadays, there's a lot of free tools that allow us to engage with our audience, but they are so flooded with messages and information. So if we can find a place that others aren't looking, and sort of make connections there. And this is another thing that I've been working on, is trying to build relationships, like messaging people on Twitter and being like, hey, would you be interested in sharing to your list and I'll share to my list. And that's sort of like a way to organically grow and like hack the system, so you don't have to, build an audience yourself. You can instead like provide that value to them. And that's one thing we touched on last week, is like, I forget what words we were saying, but like gift marketing or something like that. So like continually giving people value and then, not really asking for it back until they really, really want to give you back some value because they've received so much and they want to reciprocate that. And then that's when you can offer them something that's really, really powerful. Yeah, so I guess I've sort of just talked a lot of words. I'm going to take just a minute to just like share some things on Gumroad. So let me go to a different thing. I want to talk again about like building this relationship. I know I've shared this in the past, but I think it's super important. I don't know if we ever got it on video, but that is to build a relationship by providing automated value. So when people come to your email list or they get on your follower list, that's a dialogue that you can then provide them whatever it is that you provide. We get trapped in these paradigms of social media where it's like we're expected to provide this particular thing. But with an email list, you can provide exactly what value you want in a very open way, right? So you're not limited to characters, you're not limited to pictures or videos. And really, it allows you to craft this narrative and craft this story. So I know I've been going way too long, but I really want to get this one message. For marketing, what's working for me and what I'm exploring is, how can I craft a story? How can I make it something that I can give people in small bites that they can digest, and that they can have a you know, a meaningful connection with that. So with my music project, my new music project, White Puma, I've started to write like an entire storyline of this character. And that's sort of like a more extreme example. Also with Aquarius Academy, I'm building this this onboarding series, and I've already written one for the digital nomad class, but it's about like, you know, bringing people into that storyline so they feel involved, and then the value that you provide them can be whatever is involved in that story. So you want to involve the user, the person in that story, and the person should be going on their own journey with you, if that makes sense. So if I'm trying to give a journey with Aquarius Academy, I'm not just sharing my journey of whatever it is I consider Aquarius Academy stuff, but I'm considering their journey. And I'm showing like what we have of value to support them on their journey going forward. So that's what I got. I hope that that's some thought ponderance that will benefit people in the long run. And would anybody like to volunteer to go next? Okay, I will pick Rosemary.
Yay. Thanks for sharing, Alyssa. One of the most important tips I could give is consistency. And I agree with you to engage with the target audience on a daily basis, even if it's 20 minutes a day, to like, retweet, if it's on Instagram, check their stories. You don't even have to follow them, just even checking their stories. If they watch who check their stories, they're gonna look at your profile and see what you have. And so keeping that engagement is important, and if they follow you, then you have much more of a higher success for them to respond to whenever you want to reach out to them or see what you post. And that's a big advantage. And also, yes, be present where they are and look for these niches of ways to provide values. For example, I went on Twitter and I noticed I do want to provide value for and connect more with the optimism community. I noticed that when I search for optimism and I go to Twitter lists, there's not that many, and I didn't find any that I really liked that has all the contributors, for example, in one place. So I decided to create one, and then that makes it easier for the next person when they search for something similar to see that I created this list and check out my profile and see what I'm up to. And also, I noticed that they also get, whoever I add to this list, they get a notification that they have been added to a public Twitter list. And some people have followed me on the back of that and have started following the list. And so I ultimately got some engagement back. Also look for other ways to provide that value. For example, if there is a Twitter, if there is a Telegram page started, if in this case for optimism there wasn't, I don't think they really have an established well-known Telegram group, so there's an opportunity to start that, for example. And there are other ways, like I think Twitter communities too, they're coming up, and I didn't see any optimism communities there that are for the collective. There were some based on geo, so that's another opportunity. Generally, I have been more focused on the social media platform where the users that we want to target are, and this is Twitter mostly, and Discord, and looking for ways to also promote the content on Discord and engaging with users on there too. That's also important, as well as formulating the market strategy based on what other people are doing. That's basically, you can copy anyone's marketing tactics if you see that they work effectively, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone copies from each other, really, and taking out the best parts that you see that they work for someone in that market doing a similar thing, then that's really good. And yes, measuring also, and then checking out analytics for your marketing efforts, like posts, considering the time for engagement and how much you're getting out from that. That also, it's good to be monitored, but mainly the analytics and the click-through rate, the engagements stats, just looking and refining the messages to see which one has the most open rate or success rate. And that's really important to kind of A/B test and look for a formula that works best and it's catchy. I agree with that. There should be a hook. There should be an immediate grab of attention. And also, every second is important for especially TikTok. And you have to make a good value out of every second. And actually recently started using the script, and that really helps to get rid of the ums and ahs and edit the video whilst looking at the transcript of the video simultaneously, and just removing words that are repetitive, or maybe you want to shorten the overall clip. That really works too. You can export it in also social media 16:9 ratios that are more suitable for Instagram, also Twitter, but also exported in kind of a wider range, similar to if you were to upload to YouTube. And yeah, in general, I think consistency is really key. The more you provide value, the more people are going to notice that you're present and you're not just trying to sell something and not stay too much and provide a value for in the long run. But the other way around, when you keep on providing value, at first, of course, people are going to be hesitant or more restricted to try out immediately what you have to offer. That's why there's that period of preparing the audience. So there has to be, I think, depends on what you want to release, but there is a specific days that are needed for that audience to become from cold to warm to hot. When they're hot and they have seen your messages a few times and they've checked you out but have not yet joined, but they see that you're still going and you are providing value, they are much more likely after, let's say, 30 days, when you keep on going with the promotions, that they decide to try it.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. So you did one question real quick. Was Descript like an app?
It has an app version, a desktop app, which works better than the web version. I just tried it out. I think it costs $19 a month. And it's descript.com if you want to check out the plans. But I think it's worth it. And also, thanks for sharing about Opus Clip. I checked it out, I think 2 weeks ago. And I really like it. And at the moment, actually, I also paid for Opus Clip to compare them with Descript simultaneously. And I do see some differences, and actually I prefer this Descript. But And then Opus Clip gives you these ready ready to go, in a way, almost, I guess, clips that their AI has come up with, which sometimes, you know, you may overlook some moments that the AI, I guess, considers as valuable. And it's beneficial for when you don't have that much time to evaluate the content itself and to get short clips from it. But this script is, I think, more suitable for if you have something more in mind that you want to share. And let's say you cut that part from the long form video, you go to this script to remove the ums and ahs and whatnot. And then you take like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minute clip from that, and you can share it on YouTube and other social media platforms. But Opus is also good for kind of those more so viral clips that are between 1 and 2 minutes.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. You want to pick somebody to go next?
Dan, it has to be you. And Dan, I don't know where
Sure,
you
sure.
are.
Yep, sounds good. Sorry about that. It took me a little while to get to the microphone. Well, yeah, sounds great. Thanks, Rosemary, and thanks, Guru. So really interesting. So I don't know what to say. Both of you gave really good, both of you gave really good overviews with lots of advice for marketing and promotion, and I learned a lot from both of you. And I mean, mostly I focus on just making really good content, and sharing really good experiences, and that served me pretty well. Like people enjoy it. We do weekly meetings and meet with people like face to face and try to be like nice and kind and interested and help people out as much as I can. And I suppose I can focus on that a little bit. Like I'm always trying to make the best experience possible and share that. There's actually a Jordan Peterson quote about like how each person is like a divine locus of attention or something like that. That just like basically do the best you can for everybody around you in your community. And so I have a strong sense of that, just helping people in my community as much as I can. And that kind of goes to what Rosemary was saying about just providing value for people. And eventually people get interested and attracted when you provide a lot of value. And you do it in a fun way and you do it in a way that people enjoy. And then in the same way in content too. Like, well, one, you can directly provide value to people as you can in your personal relationships. And like Gudis was saying, like reaching out to people and helping out. And in meetings and so forth. And then also the content you create, like the videos that you record, like right now, or the artwork you make. I noticed that Gudisol or somebody made some really cool thumbnail for Aquadac a couple weeks ago with like a it was like something surfing and it said Aquadac. There was like a tiger or like a cougar surfing like it looked really cool. So that made me like smile and look at it for a while. So doing stuff like that, like putting out really sweet content that you put care into just to give people a great experience is one great thing. And then I'm very much also learning to how to scale that up in the future and like get better at learning analytics and scaling up the marketing operations. There's a lot more that can be done. So I'm grateful for the advice about like the short form content as well. I spent a lot of time using Vine back in the day when Vine was a thing with short form video. So I do like short form storytelling. And yeah, I'm excited to be in this call in Aquadac and in the position where I can experiment with a lot of these things to market and promote and spread the word about things that will be helpful for people. I don't know. I can add more there, but I suppose I could also just leave it there and say thanks for the learning experience so far.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So good content experiences and make the best experience possible and share it. Yeah, you're welcome to share more after. I guess we'll pass to Corellia, and then if you have any specific thing else you want to share, that's fine too.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Thanks.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Rosemary. What you said was really inspiring. Actually. It got me really thinking about certain things that you said about consistency, because it is really important. And that's some of the things I've been lacking, because I it's just a matter of organizing myself, and I guess getting to a point that I can really program or schedule all this content, so I don't have to worry about if something happens. I guess it's finding those times to really create all this content and have it ready whenever you need it. So thank you for that. And I also have a bit to share regarding valuable content, because it is something that I feel is it requires a bit of market research a bit. For example, when I before I started to design these freebies or something like that, I took a couple days to really go into Reddit, where I felt that a lot of people were there really looking to get help or answers or asking questions specifically. So these subreddits, for example, like self-help or meditation, or these people that are really involved into these subjects, and just take the time to really go to the top questions, the top posts, and looking into the answers. Look, what are the patterns that are out there and people are really needing, and based on those needs and based on those I guess common issues that they've been having, sort of designed my freebie a little bit towards there, and because there was a lot of very specific keywords that helped me sort of shape the idea in my mind, to not make it too broad. For example, regarding self-therapy, that I did this PDF regarding to do self-therapy in nature, with nature, and there was a lot of it was really helpful to read what other people had to say and what their difficulties doing this, because a lot of people are already doing this, but obviously they get stuck somewhere, and finding these common I guess challenges is what at the end solves the problem, identifying these common problems and here and there. And I think that's very important as well, before even thinking about, what kind of freebie I want to create. So later on, I can actually, go to this subreddit and say, maybe if it's allowed, because it's really hard sometimes to share this kind of content, because it can be red flag in Reddit real quick. So it's finding the way also to provide certain value and offer this help, like in a very authentic way, so people don't think, oh, you're just saying this because you want me to buy something from you, right? So yeah, I guess that's something that's been really helpful for me, and I guess you're in a good mindset as well when you're writing specifically a content. If you have to write something from scratch, for example, it gets you into the mindset, because you can actually picture a bit better the prototype of the person, like the archetype of this person that is in need of help regarding this subject. So you can actually feel, sort of be in the shoes of this person, and then talk to this person in easily, and create this content that you're gonna give for free, and then get really valuable. And also regarding copywriting, because I feel like I've been testing a lot of stuff for a while on copywriting, and there's a bunch of different tactics that people are using out there, like the hook thing, and then from there offering something that that is they can be identified as a benefit or something for the person. That's how it's going to help. But besides from that, I guess depending on obviously the what is your customer language, and what is this where are the main interests from these specific customers, and it sort of helps in a way to find a way how to find the style of copywriting. Because, for example, when you're talking about I don't know, gardening, and then it's completely different when you teaching someone how to create roots from this stick to be able to plant it, and it's certainly very different in how to approach a person saying, okay, here is something that can help you with your abandonment trauma. So it's it depends also, of course, on what you are trying to the area or the sort of sector that you are in. But for me, for example, what has been working, it's in because I have tried some many things, and what did work, I feel most, is sharing something very personal that's related to really in a personal story or something that has happened to me, and being vulnerable specifically, and showing that, to get here I have to go through this or that. So showing this specific vulnerability and the other side of the picture as well helps a lot for the other person to be seen as, this person is it's been going through a lot of stuff that I've been through as well. So it can create a better trust. And compared to other times there where I just share something very, in a way, academically speaking, here, this is how to do this or that. And then sometimes, yeah, it does work, but it doesn't hold much of it does people don't tend to relate. Most of them probably they don't even need to hear that. So the more that you hold certain as well emotional relationship with this post or this story, is something that you are sharing, the most and excited you are about this, or the more, not even have to be excited in a good way, but the more connected emotionally with what you're sharing. It's I think it's it has more power when you publish it, because I had this reel that I shared a long time ago, and it got me a lot of followers and a lot of views, and it was something that it was really heavy. It was a really heavy times for me, and it wasn't like something very like, I'm super happy, la la la. It was but also it was very important and very fruitful for me to be sharing this, because it meant a lot. So when I did it, I guess it could be related or not. I'm not saying it could be not as well. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just crazy. But I do feel that my intuition tells me that the more strong the emotional, this from where you are sharing, the place that you are sharing this information, the more it can attract other energies, and you can resonate with other people, and people can find you and be like, oh yeah, this is something that I like to keep learning a bit more about. And I guess that's it. My time I think it's been enough, but thank you.
Amazing, man. I was just sitting here like, I feel so grateful to be right here and in all of your presence and ideas. Here I'm going to share sort of the summary of what you wrote, because yeah, we're always reminded of these things that we can apply right away. So I'm going to work on that authenticity and consistency, like Rosemary said, by sharing my story and by being vulnerable, because I certainly I do that sometimes, as far as like, here's A, B, and C to do this thing, and then I just walk away like, oh yeah, I've done my job, but it's like, if nobody cares, nobody cares. So yeah, and it's like at the end of the day, it is just about being ourselves. And I feel like in our society, maybe not in our society, but with our algorithms, we sometimes feel pressured to fit into this specific thing, to fit into this format, like I was talking about earlier. But at the end of the day, like in that, you still have to be your authentic self. You can't get so wrapped up in trying to do X, Y, and Z that you just don't be a human and pretend like your audience is your best friend and just speak to them in that particular way, but still as your best friend. So thank you all again, and I would like to open up the floor to any questions. Anybody can ask any questions to anybody else.
I want to ask a question to Rosemary. What do you think? What do you think it's from your personal experience? It sort of works as motivation factor when it comes to be consistent in you know, every day.
Consistent about how to become consistent.
Yeah, to what sort of inspires you to be like, okay, yeah, this is the consistency I'm gonna have. These are the actions that I'm gonna take in order to be recognized as somebody that's always, you know, present
Try
out
to
there.
create a social media calendar that and try to create content that is ready. Is ready and you have a schedule. For example, like an idea. You can also film in batch if you're filming, and then based on what you want to share at the moment, and then what how you film it, then you have to think about ways to distribute that content, and there's the editing of it and posting, and social media calendar would help for sure. But what I also really recommend to get inspired to keep consistent is to go to YouTube channels where there are people who are really knowledgeable about social media, and check their videos and find a video that is, for example, something you want to learn more about, and it's something that you've always wondered, like how or why, or for example, I recommend Latasha James YouTube channel. She's amazing. She's very consistent with her posting too. She posts every 3 days or something. She has 675 videos in total, which is huge. And she does cover so many good ways to you can learn about social media management. She has a playlist about that, about content creation, entrepreneurship, course creation, and so on. And I can't recommend her enough. She's just amazing, and she's really down to earth. She seems like a cool person too. And then the other YouTuber that I've learned quite a lot from, and they keep on posting. So whatever is trending and whatever is changing, they post about changes in social media and algorithms and everything. So the other YouTube channel that I recommend is Modern Millie, and I'm going to paste it in the chat. She's also good, but my favorite is Latasha James. You can literally get so much out from that channel for free and learn so many things. I don't even know. Of course, both of them offer paid courses, but even checking out their YouTube channels, you would learn so much, and you can watch their videos in double speed, which saves time.
Thank you. Yeah. I do. I do can see how it can bring a lot of inspiration to sort of try what you have learned or you're learning from these people, and then sort of keeps you going on trying new things or just keeping yourself consistent over time. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
All right, so any more questions are still welcome, but we're getting towards the end, and I want to talk about and see what we would like to talk about next class. So what are we interested to explore? Can be an extension of this or another thing we think could benefit what we're working on right now, or any other feedback is welcome. I can throw out so one idea could be like in terms of it could be storytelling, which is sort of related to what I'm saying. Like we could talk about telling our story. We could dive into consistency and tools to become consistent, or we could take it in another direction.
I'm good. I don't have any questions. This was very valuable. Thank you everyone for your input.
Do you have any ideas for next week? That's the last thing on the agenda. And we don't have to think of it right now. Like we can just talk about it in the group. We could even make a poll or something. But yeah, like, so what's our biggest challenge right now? For me, I'd say it's like just getting all my things set up and then starting to take the time to make the content. So that's my challenge. If we want to just go around and just share the challenges that we have, maybe we can think it'll be obvious what to talk about. So what are some
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. My challenges at the moment are, I guess, organizing my time between going from one place to the other, because it sort of really distracts me from having a good week of work, let's say, or to prepare all this content, but I guess that's not related to anything that can count as a main thing. The another challenge is to be more outspoken regarding what I'm offering now and the sessions that I'm offering now, and to really sell myself, not even if I'm not if I met people and they're probably not even interested about this, but the way that I'm presenting myself in a common social environment, let's say, and to really believe and then consider something that is important for me, and sort of projecting that is sort of believing that's that's what I'm doing now, in something like that. That's sort of because that can really bring the power of the word. It's really, really important when it comes to attracting new possibilities and things like that. So it is important believe it that you can do it, and just sell yourself in, even if nobody is out looking for it, but just like present yourself in a way that that you feel confident by sharing this or that. That's been a challenge, because that's related to initiative. Because if I guess that's another, it connects a lot to having this initiative to say, oh, look, I'm doing this. If you want to join this afternoon or whatever, tomorrow night line, you're just and it doesn't hurt, but it is very important to have that as well, to train it.
Yeah, I'm very inspired hearing that, because I think like that's what I need as well. Here's an idea. What if next week we took the opportunity to show up as our authentic self, and instead of as a way to practice for our own audience, right? Like with the idea being like, we're a group of friends here. It's a safe space. It's only going to be recorded and put onto YouTube for maybe 12 viewers. Just kidding. So, but yeah, like what do you think about that? We show up and we just use the space, we use the time to just speak authentically, and have that validation of like, yeah, it's okay to be authentic. We're all going to accept you no matter what you say. And then you can sort of use it to craft your own voice.
I like it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I like
Yeah.
it, and give each other's feedback.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we can tell each other like
Sounds
what
good.
parts are what parts bring you in. Yeah, and like really work to refine that message. Dan, you
Yeah.
have any favorites?
No, I was just saying, sounds good. Basically, that plan sounds good, and I'm happy with the plan, and looking forward to it. And also enjoyed this meeting very much too.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And Claudia, did you have anything else to say, or else we'll sign off after?
No, yeah, I think it's great that to present ourselves that like we are, and share what are we doing right now with our lives, in a way that where are we, where are we up to, pretty much. And I think that's very important, because it's very simple, and I came here, and this is a different place, and there's a lot of new people and stuff like that, and I do realize that it's important now for me to really to be more outspoken, and not be afraid of saying what I'm doing, and speaking it with a lot of value. So I think it's a good practice for you guys, because you are very you're very open, and you probably have really good feedback. So I'm all in.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's like, especially nowadays, we always have this opportunity to reinvent ourselves. And once we have the confidence to seize that opportunity, like, I think it's gonna unlock a lot of stuff. So thank you guys so much for being here. Really, it's so beneficial to me, and I hope to you as well. And I look forward to next week. I think next week, I please challenge you to be here, and I challenge also Space Wrangler and Ombre and whoever else might come. Yeah, because like this is great. This is what it's all about. And I know like I'm scared and excited in an excited way. So I think that lets me know that I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. And yeah, once we can break through these barriers, we'll all grow further. End rant. So thank you guys again. I'll see you next week. Love you all so much.
Hansen, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm doing
Bye.
it.
Thanks all.
Have
Good luck
Have
with
a
that.
good week.
a good
Enjoy,
week.
guys. You
Ciao.
too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks
Great
all.